$25, paid a coyote, human smuggler in Nogales, Sonora. Got me through a hole in the fence. Born in Mexico, made in America. Me with my umbrella and my Rolls Royce behind me and my my Rolex. You know what I mean? I'm like, look at what real estate can do for you in 5 years.
What were some of the biggest lessons you learned?
Think about the kind of lesson you learn off a $5 million loss.
And I feel like you have leaned into controversial topics.
Oof.
Right.
And I just saved you hopefully 5 to 10 years of you trying something else out.
I like that.
As
That's tough.
an entrepreneur, I'd say that if you are a driven human being, it
Yep.
is probably your biggest challenge that you'll go through.
Ryan Pineda came, Pace Morby came, Donna Baruffa came, Keith Everett came, Tiffany High came, Austin Rutherford.
What have you learned the most from the guy who sold NextGen?
No, we're just going to go too hard, just like you guys. Like, bro, nobody in the government right now is telling the truth.
Welcome to the Deal Champs podcast. I'm your co-host, Stratton Brown, a.k.a. Strat Daddy.
The daddy.
Strat Daddy. There
Daddy's
we go.
here.
We have another amazing guest on today. Man, I'm going to call you Mr. Biceps. That's.
Let's go.
Let's go. Show him off.
The Mexican warrior.
Oh, there we go. The
Mexican
Mexican
war machine.
warrior.
Yeah.
The Mexican warrior. That's what we're going for.
The Mexican Thor. No.
We're going to do some quick intros and we'll hop into it. We have a shorter timeline. My name's Stratton Brown. We scaled 2 different companies to 7 figures before I was 30. We built a 7-figure real estate portfolio before I was 30. And real estate absolutely changed my life and showed me how to make money out of thin air. We have the Captain America,
Oof.
Dean Rogers.
We're here, baby. Let's go. What's up, guys? Dean Rogers. Started my career in the NFL, then transitioned to corporate, then into real estate. Been doing that for a decade now. Done over 750 deals, have an 8-figure rental portfolio, and proud to be running Deal Champs community with Strat Daddy over here. You guys can always check us out at dealchamps.com.
And then we have the Mexican Warriors that we're going with. Hey, Dean, you came up with the nickname.
Yeah.
There has to be a better nickname.
He's the master of nicknames.
I wasn't prepared, but I mean,
Yeah,
the Mexican
yeah,
Warriors
yeah.
sticking.
It's sticking.
It's sticking. We're sticking with it.
What,
My
have
name
you
was
guys seen Nacho Libre?
Yeah. Oh, of course.
I always say I'm Ramses. I'm Ramses. I have his body. I have his Mexican, like not buff, not fat, right in the middle. Like that's the body I have. I'm Ramses. Ramses. Remember Ramses? Yeah, with the golds. Yeah.
I love that.
I'll be Ramses.
All right. Thank you so much for coming on. Give us a quick intro.
Carlos Reyes, born in Mexico. I always say this: born in Mexico, made in America. You know, praise God. Came here illegally. You know, I was back in Mexico. I was born into dirt poverty. You know, dirt roads, dirt floors. Yeah, you know, my mom wanted something better for me and my siblings, and she came over first, and then she smuggled us over here. Right, I paid a guy $25 to get us through. Well, me specifically, because I came
Sounds like a good
alone the
deal.
first time.
That sounds like a hell of a deal.
The ROI is insane.
That's
right?
a good deal.
Yeah. $25, paid a coyote, human smuggler in Nogales, Sonora. Got me through a hole in the fence, came out to Phoenix. He started my paperwork process in 96. After a 16-year process, I became a citizen of this great country. And then I started my real estate career a year later. And I started with bandit signs out on the street, you know, and fast forward 5 years later, it's beautiful because when I do my presentations, right, I'll be like, look, here's 2013. Here's 2018. 2013 is me with 120 handwritten bandit signs on the back of a 2008 Nissan Rogue, my wife's. And then in 2018, it's like me with my umbrella and my Rolls Royce behind me and my Rolex. You know what I mean? I'm like, look at what real estate can do for you in 5 years.
Yeah.
Right.
So I love showing people that because, you know, a lot of skepticism, you know, people don't believe it until they actually see someone actually do it. You know what I mean? So
Right.
Exactly.
that's my story, man. I've been, you know, rocking and rolling with real estate. I've never drifted apart from it, even though I'm not as involved in the real estate wholesale community anymore. I got 15 active flips as we speak. My goal is to have 30 by the end of the year, like 30 active flips going all the time.
It's a lot.
And just keep rocking and rolling, man. I'm never going to go away from real estate. You guys know how it is. It's the best business in the world. It's the best
Do it till
business
the
in
day
the
you
world.
die.
There's nothing, brother. I've been involved in just about every business you can think of. Name it. Name one.
Plumbing?
Yep. I've been involved in plumbing.
Okay.
I'm helping a plumbing company out of Central Valley, Santos Plumbing, right? I know the way all these businesses operate. I know their cash conversion cycle. I know their net profitability, everything you can think of. And I'm telling you, there is nothing. There's not plumbing, roofing, flooring, landscaping. Nothing comes close to real estate and the freedom that it provides. So
Wow.
good job for you guys. And I just saved you hopefully 5 to 10 years of you trying something else out.
I like that.
Yeah.
All right, I get first question. Tell me about the private equity stuff you're doing.
Yeah, so we unintentionally stumbled onto it, right? So this is what we did. It's very simple.
Is this with Sal?
Yes, with Sal. Everything I do is with Sal. Like him and I are, brothers, and we're loyal to the bone, and we've been through it all. We've been through the ups, we've been through the downs, you know what I mean? We've been through everything together, And when you've been through that kind of fire with each other, brother, it's like, yo, we're riding together. We're riding together. I already know you got my back to the fullest, and I got yours. You know what I mean? That's hard to find.
It really is.
Right? Because not even our own siblings and his own siblings had, that type of protection over each other. But so the private equity space, Sal and I started, we started making millions of dollars in real estate, wholesaling specifically. And then we started flipping around 2017. That was great. And then we started to launch a bunch of other businesses in the past, right? NeedToSkip.com, Call Geeks, Investor Automation. So we started to launch these businesses for ourselves, right? Like we were using all these businesses, and then a bunch of other, as you guys know, a bunch of other people in the, in just the real estate community was like, hey man, where do you do your cold calling? Right? Hey, where do you get your, where do you skip trace? Where do you get your, your data from, et cetera? And that happened over and over and over. So we just started launching all these businesses, and we vertically integrated all those businesses into what we were doing. And then eventually we started offering them at our boot camps and our events and things like that. And that I mean, brother, one of those businesses, I remember the year 2021, it was like the top line revenue of that business specifically was over $12 million gross revenue. That business at that point had over 1,000 agents, which was Call Geeks.
Wow.
That's one business that we just unintentionally launched. So anyway, we were launching all these businesses.
I was a customer too.
Oh, there you go. Right. So we were launching all these businesses internally. And then we were like, okay, we were like, okay, we want to try to start buying other businesses that are kind of already, they have a book of business and some infrastructure involved, right? Because we were making all this money. So it's like, okay, the smart thing to do is you either park it in rentals or you buy other businesses, right? So we went that other route. We started to buy businesses, and the first business we bought was a business, a medical company, back in 2019. This guy wanted over $750,000 because the business was doing extremely well at that moment. Learned a lot from this first transaction or this first acquisition. He wanted to get into real estate. He wanted to get out of the medical business, right? And he wanted to get into real estate. So I talked him down 3 months later from like $750,000, and we paid him $315,000 in cash. So we bought his book of business. This was our first formal legal acquisition. That business today does over $4 million with 4.5 employees.
No kidding.
That's upstairs.
Sexy one. That's a
So
sexy one.
that opened up the door for, right? Now, then we started let's go into solar, right? Our first solar acquisition was back in 2019 also, 50% of a solar company. And then it just wasn't making the kind of the kind of money that we wanted it to make. And so we're quick to pull the plug. Like we'll give it everything we got. And if it doesn't work out, we're quick to just pull the plug, even if it's profitable every month. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well,
right.
it's a brain damage.
Yeah. We want to focus on now, right? Back then, like our threshold was like, hey, if this company can make $1 million in gross revenue, bare minimum per year, we'll stick it out. Now we're at a point where the company has to have the potential to make $10 million annually gross top line per year. And it has to be a exitable company, or else we're just not touching it. That's where we are now in business. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Right. But again, solar, and then we acquired an import-export company back in the day called Inventory City. We had a whole warehouse for it in Tempe. Slowly but surely, we just started getting into private equity, and then in 2022, we saw what Cardone Ventures was doing. Right. There was like, this guy was huge in real estate. And he started expanding through Brandon Dawson and Cardone Ventures specifically into what? The private equity space, right? Mm-hmm. Specifically roofing and HVAC at that moment. So I'm not gonna lie to you, brother. It was rough. Like I was talking to Godfrey this morning. I literally said, I didn't leave real estate because I wasn't making money. We were making a lot of money in real estate. I left real estate because I was somewhat bored, and I wanted to expand my business acumen and my horizons. Mm-hmm. because I gotta stay challenged or else I slow down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why I expanded into the private equity space. Not that I wasn't making money. We were dominating, you know, like I said, 2022, we were still on top of our game. But I wanted to go learn, you know, business at a very high level. And brother, I'm telling you, it's been rocky, because what happens when you make a huge transition, like at that level, right? You're first of all, your income, right? Your income that it starts to dwindle down slowly, right? And you expect this to come up, but if it doesn't come up, then guess what? Then you end up doing what I did the first, you know, in 2023, I burned through $500,000 of my personal savings because I didn't want to take money from the businesses. I wanted them to stay afloat. You know what I mean? So it's been a rocky road, but this year, bro, praise God. Like, it took us 3 years to truly transition, right? And I would say, you know, become profitable again to a level that we're used to.
Yeah.
And so here we are.
Real estate will always be there, and you know how to spin it up so it can make cash. Like you know exactly how to do it. Okay, we can go set this up. We can know everything. We can set it up. We can get it to make us cash in the next 3 months.
And you know what I like about general business, by the way, which what we do now. You know, like, I'll give you an example. The real estate market, or the real estate. I'll say the real estate market. The real estate market, especially on the arbitrage side of it, which is novations, wholesaling, and flipping, right? It drastically sometimes makes shifts. You know, remember, like, right? It was like, I remember when you can wholesale, right? You can wholesale and just crush it. And then wholesaling, like in 2021, then the funds came in, right? The funds came in, and then you had to, you know, shift somewhat your model, right? And then novations got really hot and popular, and then you got to shift your model again. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So what I love about general business is once you learn general business, maybe 20% will shift. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
If like the some of the external factors will be like, you know, the economy, or you know, something of that nature. You know what I mean? Or a competitor comes in, like example, like when, you know, Redbox came in and Blockbuster, you know what I mean? And then Netflix came in and then Redbox was out, right? So that will happen. Evolution will happen. But outside of that, like 80% of it, once you learn it, you're good. You're stable.
Yeah. So we were just talking earlier about you know, you being a distant mentor to me.
Yeah.
And
what a blessing, bro. Thank you.
You guys were ripping through that. So you transitioning into the business side, what were some of the biggest lessons you learned?
Well, you know, there's an old saying, right? If you want to massively succeed, right? You want to massively succeed and you want to succeed fast, you have to fail fast. So we took a lot of licks, man. Like December 2022, you know, the individuals that we had a partnership with, specifically with our BPO company, which was Call Geeks, you know, they did what a lot of people are doing now. I
have a very strong opinion about doing business with people from over there. We went through something very similar.
Yeah.
But the pioneers of that were the people that got us first. Think about it, right? Like when they did that to us, and millions of dollars, and not millions of dollars in revenue, millions of dollars in income were taken away, right? That helped. I mean, think about the kind of lesson you learn off of a $5 million loss. You get what I'm saying? So
and that was big enough at scale to actually sell and get some real liquidity out of it.
Oh my God, bro. Like at that point we were cranking. Like I already told you, we were north of 8 figures when that happened. You know what I mean? And you know, that was a huge lesson. That was a huge lesson, bro. And here's what I'll say. I came up by it's personal, like IP, right? Intellectual property that I came up with. It's called the four phases of business mastery, which is build, systemize, optimize, and legacy, right? And build is usually, you know, when we get going, like your first 3 to 7 years in real estate, you're hustling, you're grinding, you're wearing all these hats, right? And then once you figure out that you're like, dude, I can't do this forever. Like I'm burning out here.
Yeah.
Then the pain of that forces you to change. And then you begin to figure out how to systemize. You're like, man, can this be systemized? Can this be systemized? Can this be delegated? Right? Can I hire someone to do this, you know, $30 an hour job? Right? So you begin to develop and evolve also. And I'm going to say that's a big lesson for every business owner out there, whether they're in real estate wholesaling or a plumber or roofer, right? Get to that systemization phase of your business as soon as possible if you want real freedom 100%. And you want peace of mind.
100%.
Yep.
Okay, so we got a lot of questions to rip through.
Let's rip them.
Before we got to run to the airport.
Boom.
Well, what does faith mean to you?
What's up, Deal Champs? I hope you're enjoying the podcast. I want to take a second to tell you a little bit more about the Deal Champs community. If you're looking to be around other real estate investors doing deals with the common goal of building a business of freedom to live the life you want to live, then you need to get the right information to be successful and the support to do it. If that sounds like you, Deal Champs community is the right fit. Just head over to dealchamps.com to learn more and apply. Now let's get back to the podcast. Let's go.
Everything. I feel like, just like the great Charlie Kirk said, I want to be remembered for my courage and my faith, right? I believe faith is what's gotten me here. Blind faith, brother, where I'm not walking by sight, but I'm walking by faith. If you think about it, right? To come from where I come from and to come from the background and the upbringing that I come from, where,
right.
My mother had to leave my father. It wasn't one of those, usually in America, like the dad takes off, right? My mom left my father in Mexico because he was coming home and he was an alcoholic and a coke addict and a physical, mental, and emotional abuser, right? So she left him, right? A mother, right? A Mexican mother that was married, that lost her virginity to my father because she grew up in a Christian upbringing, right? That's why I always say I'm a third generation Christian through my mother's side, right? Imagine
that culture breakthrough.
Imagine what she dealt with from her sisters and her brothers and her parents, What you're leaving your family? Like shame. You know what I mean? So I believe that if I didn't have the faith that I had, and I developed that through watching my mom, because her faith to this day at 69 years old is still one of the strongest faith I've ever seen. You know what I mean? Like for me to see her do the things that she did, that really amplified my faith to a level that is unmeasurable.
Yeah. So I was going to touch on this earlier. I forgot to make this point, right? As you've been a distant mentor to me, someone I've admired, you've really evolved as a person, right? And you share a lot of this on social media. Your ups, your challenges, your growth. And recently you've talked a lot about your culture, being proud of your culture.
Yeah.
Why don't you touch on that, about how you've brought that into the business side?
Very simple. As you guys know, I started educating, and this came out of love, by the way, because, bro, when I started teaching people, I didn't know it was a business. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know, like, wow, you can build a multi-million-dollar business. Man, so many people were like, we were cashing these big checks. If you just go all the way back to my Facebook and Instagram from back in 2017, 2016, 17, and 18, and everybody's like, yo, put me on. The Keith Everetts of the world, the Donovan Ruffins of the world, right? Hello, like, yo, can you help me? So then I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna throw this like little boot camp at the Hyatt, $5,000 a head. Ryan Pineda came, Pace Morby came, Donovan Ruffin came, Keith Everett came, Tiffany High came, Austin Rutherford came. Everybody came, and then everybody left with what? A blueprint of everything. It was worth the $5,000.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying? So I remember people were like, oh, are you going to offer like an upsell? I don't even know what an upsell was. Or is there going to be an offer at the end of the? No, we're just going to go too hard, just like you guys. We were staying there till 9, 8, 10 o'clock at night. I got the film. I got the film, and it's like, no, we're gonna show you everything we do, how we do it, and we're not leaving here until everybody gets it. And I believe the first one was like 80 people, right? The second one was probably around the same, because $5,000 back in 2018, like not everybody can pay it, just the guys that were serious, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's how I didn't care. It wasn't a numbers game. It was like, okay, who really wants to help? Come get it, right? So I started doing that, and I started doing that at a very impactful and influential level, right? And everybody across the country, right? From Keith Everett being in Alabama, and Tiffany High in Austin, and Terry Summers being in Ohio.
Yep.
Right? So we went national in the community, right? And then, after that, it was like, okay, I did that for a couple of years, and there was two things that my wife, God bless her, there was two things that my wife always like beat me on. Number one, back in 2018 and 19, she's like, hey, when are you going to pour into your own children the way that you're pouring into all these other people?
That's a good one. As
That's tough.
an entrepreneur, I'd say that if you are a driven human being, it is
Yep.
probably your biggest challenge that you'll go through.
And guess what? I was like, what can you say at that point as a father, as a husband?
Yeah.
You know what, babe? You're right. So then I stepped up as a father and I stepped up as a husband, right? That transition started 2018, 2019.
How did you get more efficient? Because
I
there's
hired
a lag time
mentors.
there.
I hired Doc Ferris. I hired Jeremy Wilson. I started to hire personal development and spiritual mentors, no business mentors. I didn't need a business mentor. I needed someone that can help me become a better father and a better husband. So I hired mentors. I spent over 160 grand in 2019 in just mentorship. Wow. So that was that, right? So then I'm like, okay, now I'm rocking and rolling. We're making millions of dollars. My wife is taken care of. My family's taken care of. I'm helping a lot of people across the country. And then here comes the next challenge by my wife. This was around 2022. Hey, when are you going to start pouring into your own people? When are you going to start pouring into your own people? I didn't know what that meant. I'm like, what do you mean my own people? Because bro, I've never self-discriminated. You know what I mean? Like, I don't look at myself as like a wetback. I like saying that word just because, I can, right? It's like a black person can say the N-word. I can call myself a wetback, right? I didn't identify as like a illegal immigrant or a wetback. No, it was just like, whatever, bro.
I'm Carlos.
What was that?
I'm Carlos.
Yeah, I'm Carlos. I'm a human being, right? I'm a spiritual being having a human experience, and I love everyone. So, but then my wife was like, hey, but nobody's helping your people. Nobody's helping your people. Like the Mexican Americans. And we're not just talking like Mexicans from Mexico. I'm talking about, first generation Americans that come from Mexican parents that came over here at some point. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Right? All English speakers. Like my entire community that I'm building now, they're all English speakers. Do they speak Spanish? Yeah, all of them speak Spanish, but we all communicate in English, right? So she just kept pressing me, like, when are you going to help your people? When are you going to help your people? And I waited, bro. I waited for somebody to step up. I really did. Because I had already done it in the real estate space, right? And I'm just like, man, I don't want to do that again. That was tough, man. I just want to build some big businesses, maybe do a little bit of coaching here and there. And that's what I was doing at that time from 2022 to about 2025, right? But she kept challenging me of when are you going to, someone in the Mexican American community needed to step up, or I would say someone qualified. Because there's been people that come and go, as you guys know. Someone qualified to lead and to teach needed to step up, and I waited. And to the point where I got with the 27-year-old young kid. I don't know if you remember that, Godfrey. And I'm like, I'm not gonna do it again, dude. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take this young man that is blowing up on social media, that seems to be a good person, and I'm just gonna pour into that person, and then he's going to do that because he has 15 more years than I do. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I tried that first. See what I'm saying? So I was like, I didn't want it. I didn't want to be the Moses of the Mexican American community. Does that make sense? Right? So I tried it with the young man, and then the young man and I understand, he's like, hey brother, this is too much for me. I can't do it. I'm just going to build my business. So he told me that in March. So I was like, okay, is there anybody else? So then there was nobody else. So I just stepped up and I started doing it. And now it's a blowing, the community is absolutely insane, bro. Insane.
What have you learned the most from the guy who sold Next Gen? Because he's a really good entrepreneur.
That's, did you see I shot we shot in the back of his Phantom?
I've seen him in the back of his Phantom. I haven't seen
This is how you know this guy really sold for $100 million. By the way, first of all, it's public records.
Yeah.
He sold to a private equity company called Wrench, right?
Huge private equity company, by the way. Like they're enormous.
They're
the one.
We're a baby.
Yeah.
They're a giant.
They're
they got
one.
like Wall Street money, right? So, $100 million with $10 million in debt. Wow. So he netted over 90. Took 20 mil and started doing the thermostat thing with Nuve, and he acquired equity in the roofing company.
I think the Nuve thing could be really big just based off of what I
So here's how I know this dude's like rich, right? And I'm just going to have fun with it because, a lot of us don't care about that anymore, but I'll have fun with it. I show up, I speak in California, Long Beach, and then he pulls up right after, he pulls up for my speech, and I bring his butt up on stage. Because the community was on fire. The people were hungry. They're young. Most of them haven't made $1 million. Most of them are under the age of 30. And I rip it on stage. And then I'm like, what else can I do to just break through, right? Ishmael, come up here. And he said, what? Come up here. It's like, hey, this is a Mexican American born in Mexico that sold this company for $100 million. Have you guys seen Next Gen? Have you guys seen the billboards in Cali? Yeah. That's him. He sold for $100 million. And then after that, here's what happens. We go into the back of his Phantom, right? This guy, it's like a $600,000 car. We jump in the back because I've always dreamed. I used to watch this dude named Dan Locke.
Yeah.
What was it? Boston
The
and
Asian
Bentley?
guy.
Boston and Bentley, right? I don't know what happened to him, but
I haven't seen him.
I just remember he used to shoot content in a Bentley. So I'm like, I always wanted to shoot content. And I shot content in my Wraith, at some point, right? But I was driving, you know what I mean? I'm like, I never shot content in the back of a Rolls Royce being driven. Guy shows up in a Phantom, like, this is my chance. This is a dream for me. I'm going to scratch this off the bucket list. Mm-hmm. So we're shooting content back there for 2 hours, right? And then he had a previous responsibility he had to attend. So we walk into this watch place, and then he buys a $406,000 Richard Mille. He walks out with the $400,000. It was like he wanted it because it was the color of his thermostat company, Nuve.
Okay.
And I'm like, that's how you know someone has this like
stupid
like this
money.
isn't like drug money or scam money.
Yeah.
This is like real money. Walks in, he tries the different Richard Milles. He's like, yeah, this is the one I wanted, the baby blue one. And just walks out with the $400,000 watch. So to me, bro, here's the way I see it. Get around people that inspire you.
Yeah.
That's it. So I set an intention this year to get around people that inspire me, that are going to force me to get to that next level. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So you've evolved in social media a lot too. And I feel like you have leaned into controversial topics.
Oof.
Bro, you're the king of it.
Tell me your
crazy.
You're the
mindset
king of it
behind
right
that.
now.
Tell me your mindset behind that. What you've learned by doing that. Is this something you enjoy? Is this something that you regret?
No, actually, I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy it. I think it's actually, it's a negative, low vibrational frequency for the most part. Politics and
It's a fair take.
you know what I mean. It is, but brother, here's the reality of it. Right? I'm not like, bro. I voted for Trump in 2016. I voted for him in 2020, and I voted for him in 2024. Right? But here's what it is for me. I'm doing everything in my power to be a part, to play a role in this country, continuing to be the reason why my mom risked her life to get here.
Right.
And I got my daughters. in this country. You know what I mean? And brother, I just want them to have the same opportunity that I had. So I'm going to do everything in my power. For me, it's not about Trump. And anybody out there that's watching, because I get a lot of flack from the Mexican American community. Oh, you're pro-Trump and he's deporting us. I'm like, no. First of all, look into the numbers, right? Look into the numbers. Look into the stats. Go straight to the ICE website and look at how many deportations. I know there's a big propaganda out there that's like, that's how they keep us busy, but the numbers are very low, and as far as deportations and apprehensions. So forget that. Here's what it is for me, brother. I'm pro-truth. That's it. I'm pro-truth. And you know what? Even though my wife said, hey, you need to focus on building the next army of truth seekers, right? And critical thinkers. Like, you got to unlock the tens of millions of Mexican Americans to develop, obviously, what I have developed over the past, 10, 12, 15, 20 years, right? And she's like, don't put so much. There's a bunch of people already out there that are fighting this fight, but I can't help myself sometimes. I come in and out, I come in and out. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I do. I come in and out.
I'll give you that. You do come in and out. Like
I do.
You'll go on a streak.
Yep.
And then you'll calm it down.
Yep.
And then you'll go on, something may happen. You'll go on a streak. You'll ride the wave for a little bit.
I go on the streak when I have to. I go on the streak. So when the election was on the line, I saw what happened in 2020. Mm-hmm. So, and I was going hard in 2020. The reason why you see, and you can ask my media guys, the reason why you see my Instagram sometimes do millions of views and sometimes do no views is because I've been suppressed since 2019.
For sure.
Because of, the strikes that I have in there, right, are all political. So, and I don't care. It is what it is. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But anyway, when something's on the line, I put aside my own income and, my own businesses, whatever you want to call it, or public opinion. And I just beat on it. And then guess what happened November 4th, right? I was just like, right. I'm like, okay, I can lay off a little bit now because, but then the way that's turned out, it's been disgusting. So yeah, I'm not a fan of what's going on in the government right now.
Where's the files?
And where's the files?
Where's the files?
Where are the files?
Where are the
Where are the
files
files?
that you guys were like, we're gonna release the files? Like, bro, nobody in the government right now is telling the truth.
Not a
Period.
single one.
Well, they never have.
And they think we're stupid.
Yeah.
They think we're stupid. And you know what? They can get away with that with the people that are like, when's the next football game? Or, you know what I mean? Like, they can get away with that from the people that are like, you know, they're constantly numbing themselves, right? But for us of us that are actually awake and alert, you're not going to fool us. You're disgusting. And a foreign country runs you.
100%.
Or runs us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
That's
bro.
wild.
Let's wrap it up. Carlos, where can people find out more about you?
Yeah.
Okay. Simple Carlos Reyes on Instagram, brother. And yeah, anything you need. I'm very just much like you for many, many, many years. I DM back and forth. I try to answer every single comment. That's me in the comments, right? So I still try to serve the people at whatever level I can on social.
And then where can people find out more about you working with you with your private equity company if they have the business?
You know, they can go to joinempresarios.com or allinnation.com. Boom.
Hell yeah.
Love that,
Thank
man.
you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Give Carlos a follow. Then guys, we'll talk to you soon.